Hi, welcome to Santosha Rose. My name's Sam, and today we're going to be doing a practice for relaxation. So grab a blanket, grab a pillow, I'll see you on the mat. We're going to start the practice in a comfortable seat. Grab your pillow or your cushion. I'm just going to lift up a little bit, lifting up the hips, and coming into a cross-legged position, whatever feels comfortable for you. So our theme today is around relaxation. So everything that we're doing, we're going to have that relaxed vibe going with it, and just not putting ourselves under too much pressure. So sitting down, grounding down through our sitting bones, having that sense of lift, of elevation in the spine, that lifting up through the crown of the head, relaxing down through the shoulders. Feeling that sense of grounding here, relaxing down. And we're going to take a few cycles of breath here, imagining that you're breathing up from the ground, feeling that energy coming up through the sitting bones as you inhale, and coming all the way back down your spine, going back into the ground on the exhale. Feeling that sense of your whole body breathing. You're going to take some movements of the neck. So taking the gaze over to look over the right shoulder and not straining here, feeling a nice stretch down the left side of the neck, but not forcing it, not pushing too hard. And then bringing the gaze back to center and then looking over the left shoulder. See if you can keep your shoulders nice and relaxed here. It's just the neck that's moving. Coming back to center. And we're going to sync that up with the breath. So inhaling, looking right. Exhaling, coming back to center. Inhaling, looking left. Exhaling, coming back to center. I'm going to take the right ear over towards the right shoulder, but again, keeping that sense of the shoulders relaxed coming down. So just tipping in the head. And then going to nod our head as if we were saying yes, very gently. And very gently shaking the head as if you were saying no. And then bringing the head back to neutral. Or you're going to take it over towards the left ear. Nodding the head gently for yes. And shaking it gently for no. And then bringing it back to center. And we're going to look chin to chest, bringing the head down, feeling that stretch down the back of the neck. And then carving a line with the nose, coming up, going all the way up, nose towards the ceiling, taking your glance up towards the ceiling. And then bringing that line back down, coming to neutral and chin to chest. And back up to neutral, taking the gaze up to the ceiling. We're going to involve the rest of the body, so bringing the gaze back to neutral. This time as you bring your chin down to your chest, curling through the spine as well, so creating that seated cat posture. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. Feeling that curve in the spine, chin coming towards the chest. And then bringing the gaze back to neutral, bringing the spine back to neutral, and then looking up to the ceiling, arching through that back, bringing the shoulders back into a cow posture. And then coming back to neutral, spine and gaze. And then we're going to take some semicircles with the neck. It's coming down towards the right shoulder, coming across the front of the chest to the left shoulder, and just stopping there at the half circle point, and then taking that half circle the other direction. And doing that one more time on each side. And then bringing the gaze back to neutral. We're going to take the fingertips to the outer sides of our body on the mat. And then on the inhale, we're going to reach the arms up to the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're going to slowly bring the arms back down. Notice any temptation you might have to go fast here. We can do this nice and slowly. Inhaling, reaching the arms up to the ceiling. Exhaling, bringing the arms slowly with control, coming back down to the sides. Inhaling, arms coming up to the ceiling, feeling that stretch in the body, and we're going to come down with a twist. So left hand to right knee, right hand coming behind. And we can use the breath to find a bit more spaciousness here. Maybe inhaling, lengthening through the spine, exhaling, finding that bit more twist, looking over the right shoulder. And using your own breath to lengthen and to twist. And then we're going to inhale, coming back to center, raising the arms up. And exhale, twisting to the other side. Right hand to left knee, left hand coming behind. And using the breath again here. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, finding that twist. And then inhale, bringing the arms back up to center. And exhaling, bringing the arms slowly back down to the mat. I'm going to take a couple of circles in the shoulders. So bring the circles up, coming up towards the ears, and then taking it back, opening up in the chest. 1 and 2. And then reversing that, bring the circles forward. 1 and 2. Fabulous. We're going to reach the arms out in front, turning the palms up towards the ceiling. And on the inhale, we're going to bring the fingers to touch the shoulders. So bending at the elbows. Inhale, touching the shoulders. And exhale, straightening the arms back up, palms to the ceiling. Inhale, bringing the fingertips to the shoulders. And exhale, opening back up. And doing that a couple more times in time to your own breath. And making sure we've kept that integrity in the spine. Keeping that relaxed alertness of yoga. And the next time you bring your fingers to your shoulders, keeping the fingers there, you're going to take the elbows out to the side, opening up in the chest. And then on the inhale, reaching the arms out to the sides. And on the exhale, bringing those fingers back to the shoulders. And syncing it up with your breath. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, bringing the hands back in. And the next time the fingers come to the shoulders, we're going to bring the elbows towards each other. So don't worry if they don't touch. but coming in that general direction. And then we're going to lift the elbows up, coming right up, pointing up to the ceiling, feeling that squeeze in the shoulder blades as the elbows come behind, and just taking a couple of nice circles here, opening up in the back, the upper back, the shoulders. And next time they touch to the front or they come towards each other at the front, we're going to reverse that direction, circling the elbows up, forward. And then releasing in the arms, we give the arms a little bit of a shake. And we're going to take some wrist rotations. So reaching the arms out in front, tuck the thumbs in, wrap the hands round the thumbs. I'm just going to take some circles in the wrists. And don't worry if there's a little bit of noise. Things are getting released in the joints, that's no problem. So you can keep your arms as still as possible. Quite often when we do this, the whole arm sort of want to get involved, but see if you can isolate it so it's just the wrists that are moving and taking those circles in the other direction. Keeping that sense of integrity through the spine, straight, still arms out in front, and noticing the feeling of movement in the wrists. Fabulous. Releasing the arms, releasing down. So you can stay sat up on your pillow if you want to. You can move the pillow at this point. I'll have that later. I'm going to stretch the legs out, coming into a straddle position. So don't worry about trying to get your legs super wide here. Just want to have a nice space in between the legs. Gonna keep that sense of lift, of integrity. So grounding down through the sitting bones, flexing up through the toes. I'm gonna take a clasp of the hands, imagining that you are holding a big wooden spoon, and we're going to be stirring the pot. So feeling nice and relaxed in the shoulders. I'm going to start with quite a small pot, starting to just moving at the hips. You're going to be stirring, this stirring motion in little circles, and allowing your whole body to move. So the movement is coming from the waist here. And starting to make the circles gradually a little bit bigger. Maybe coming a little bit further back when you go behind, coming a bit wider, maybe reaching forward a little bit more, starting to very gently warm up the legs, warm up the hips. And now starting to get to the maximum point for your circles. Feeling that sense of actually reaching out in front, coming all the way behind, and feeling a nice sense of stretch. One more big circle on this side, and then coming up to sitting. You're going to swap over the hands. So unclasping, taking the clasp with the other thumb on top, which will probably feel a bit funny because we tend to do things always the same way. We're going to reverse the circles. I'm going to start with the biggest circles this time. It's coming over to the left. The biggest circles that you can do on this side. And just maybe noticing if it feels any different on this side. Noticing the different sensations in the body. And then starting gradually to make those circles a little bit smaller. There's no rush. And coming to still point. Releasing in the hands. I'm going to bend in the left leg. Bring the left heel in towards the center line of your body. Right foot, leg staying where it is, foot staying engaged in that nice flexed position. I'm going to take the left hand sort of behind, just out to the side, and reach the arm up and over. So keeping the right sitting bone on the floor, maybe lifting the gaze up to that right hand if that works for your neck. If not, you can keep the gaze kind of neutral position. If it works for your body, you can even come down onto your forearm here. So maybe have a look at that, see forearm or staying on your palm, what feels good for you. And then we're gonna inhale, lifting back up, and exhale, taking this right hand towards the right foot and the left hand up and over. So we're not collapsing down into this leg, we're keeping that sense of openness, that sense of stretch down this left hand side. And if the right hand doesn't get anywhere near the foot, that's no problem at all. Wherever you are, just keeping that sense of lift and openness here. And we're going to inhale, coming back to center and doing both of those movements one more time. So either coming down onto your hand or onto your forearm. And then inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming over that right leg. Keeping that sense of openness. And then inhale, coming back up to the center. And we're going to take the left leg out straight and bend the right leg in. And so doing the same thing on this other side. So right hand planting down, left hand lifting up to the ceiling, and then coming backwards and staying either on that hand or coming down onto the forearm. And taking a breath here. And then inhale, coming up. Exhale, folding forward over the left foot, keeping this body lifted, elevated, not trying to get the right hand to the foot necessarily. And then inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming backwards, either onto the hand or onto the forearm. Taking a breath here. And then coming up on the inhale again. And this time we're going to bring both feet in, soles of the feet together. Don't worry about trying to pull in super tight here. This is a relaxation sequence, so no striving really happening here. I'm going to take the hands onto the ankles and just very gently using the elbows to slightly open up in the hips. So not tons of pressure here, just very gently opening up in the hips, keeping that nice integrity through the spine. And then releasing with the hands, we're going to reach the arms up and we're going to reach forward. So inhaling, lifting, and then exhaling, folding forwards. And just notice what feels comfortable here. Don't worry if you're not anywhere near the floor. Just feeling that sense of openness in the hips. And then we're going to walk the fingertips towards the left hand side. Feeling that slightly different stretch coming through the right side of the body. Taking a cycle of breath here. And then walking the fingertips back to center. And then we're going to take them over to the right. And then bringing them back to center and seeing if there's a little bit more space, a little bit more forward fold. And then very slowly walking the hands back in. I'm going to bring the hands to the outside edges of the knees. I'm going to close the knees with the hands. And then we're going to send the legs out straight, coming into our staff pose. So again, if you want to have your cushion, you've got it nearby, and just lift up the hips. That can feel nice. Otherwise, you can stay just on your mat. We're going to engage through the feet. So engaging the legs, ideally straight. Take a little bend if you need that, especially if you've got any tension in your lower back. We're going to pull the feet back towards our face, keeping that sense of integrity and lift through the spine. And we're just going to take some circles with the ankles. So same as with when we do the wrist rotations, keeping the legs as still as you can. You might even want to rest your hands on the legs, just as a little reminder to keep them still. And then taking those circles in the other direction. Feeling that sense of isolating the ankle muscles and relaxing. You're going to bring in the right leg, give it a little bit of a squeeze, and then placing the right foot down a hand's width away from the knee. You're going to take the right hand behind and taking the left arm around the right knee. You're going to twist towards the right hand side. And we can use the breath here to inhale and lengthen, exhale and twist. And then coming back to center, engaging through this left leg, bringing those left toes back. We're going to reach both arms up to the ceiling and then reaching forward over that left leg. See if you can do this in a nice relaxed way without too much striving. Just see what feels good for your body today. You can use the breath still to inhale and lengthen, and maybe fold down on the exhale, but without too much effort. And then inhaling, bringing the arms up the legs. Going to stretch out that right leg, giving them both a bit of a shake up and down, side to side. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to bring the left knee in now, give it that little squeeze, and then planting it down a hand width away from the right knee. Taking the left hand behind, I'm going to bring the right elbow around the left knee and just opening up on this other side. So inhaling, lengthening through the spine, exhaling, maybe finding a little bit more twist. And then inhaling, we're going to come back to center, reaching both arms up to the ceiling, feeling that stretch through the spine, engaging through that right foot, bringing the toes back. We're going to fold forward over the right leg. And again, keeping this nice and gentle. We're not pulling, we're not trying to get super low, just seeing what feels good for our bodies. And use that breath again to inhale and lengthen, exhale, maybe finding some fold. And then we're going to inhale, curling through the spine, bring the hands up the leg and sending the left leg back out straight and just shaking the legs up and down and side to side. Fabulous. Okay, I'm going to cross at the ankles, coming forward into a tabletop position. And checking alignment here. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Tops of the feet pressing down into the floor, fingertips pressing down into the floor, and that will just give a little bit of engagement through the core, taking some of the pressure out of the wrists and knees. Keeping that sense of pressing away of integrity, keeping the space between the shoulders and the neck. We're going to bring the tummy down, lifting the head up into a cow posture. And then curling up through the spine, bringing the chin towards the chest, coming into a cat. And syncing this up with the breath now. So inhaling, bringing the tummy down, lifting the head up. Exhaling, pressing through the hands, bringing the navel in towards the spine, chin in towards the chest. And doing a couple more of these in time to your own breath. And just feeling that lovely sense of smooth, flowing movement in the spine. And then coming back to a neutral position, back to that tabletop, we're going to plant down through the right hand, lifting the left arm up to the ceiling, opening up on this left hand side. And then we're going to feed this left hand, threading it through, coming past the right arm, bringing the left shoulder, the left side of the head down to the floor, and then reaching that right arm up to the ceiling, opening up. And if it feels good for your body, you can keep that rotation going, bringing the right hand coming towards the left upper thigh. And we're just going to breathe here in this lovely twisted posture. And then reaching the right arm up to the ceiling first, opening out, and bringing the right hand down to the mat, pushing through the right hand, uncurling, opening up on the left hand side, and reaching the left arm up to the ceiling. And then bringing the left hand back down, and a plant down through that left hand, opening up on the right, lifting the right arm up to the ceiling, and then threading this right hand, coming all the way down and through, coming onto the right shoulder, the right side of the head, lifting up, left arm up towards the ceiling. And then tucking this left hand behind your back, maybe coming towards your right thigh. And we breathe here. And reaching the left arm back up before bringing it to the mat, planting it onto the mat, pressing through that left hand and opening the right arm up again. Following the gaze up to that right hand and then bringing the right hand back down next to the left on the mat. Going to lift the right arm again, reaching the right arm in front as if you were shaking somebody's hand, and then we're going to take the left foot back to create a lovely straight line from your right fingertips all the way down to your left toes. We're going to inhale, stretching out. Exhale, we're going to bring the elbow and the knee to touch underneath the body. Inhale, stretching arms and legs back out. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reaching out one last time. And then bringing the hand and knee back down onto the mat. I'll even that out. So lifting up the left hand, thumb facing up to the ceiling, little finger to the floor, taking the right leg back. Inhale, reaching out, feeling that stretch. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath the body. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, elbow to knee. And last time, reaching out, straightening the arms, straightening the legs, and then bringing the hands and the knee back down onto the mat. And we're going to take the feet together and the knees nice and wide. So bring the knees as wide as your mat, and then sending your heels back into an extended child's pose. So opening up the knees gives us a little bit of space. Maybe we can bring the body down to the floor. Don't worry if you can't. You've got your blankets, you've got your pillows. You can even take a pillow underneath your, in between your legs. Have a play with that. What do you need to make this posture feel comfortable for you? And we're just going to take a couple of nice, long, resting breaths here. And then very slowly we're going to walk the hands in, bring the hands in towards the knees. Bringing the knees together, we're going to come up onto the knees. We're going to take the right leg out in a straight line, so coming in a straight line from our body here. And we're going to take the left hand in that straight line, in line with the knee, and reach the right hand over the top. So we're creating a straight line from our right fingers all the way down to our right toes. And then engaging through the core, we're going to bring ourselves up to the center and then going over towards the right. So right hand coming down that right leg, left hand coming over. And you can keep the gaze ahead here, or if it feels okay for your neck, you can take your gaze up to your left hand. And then engaging through the core, we're going to come up to the center, bringing that right leg in and taking the left leg out. And bringing the right hand down in line with the knee, reaching that left arm over, creating that straight line from the left leg all the way up to the left fingertips. And then engaging through the core, coming up to center, and then we're going to go towards that left leg. So left hand coming down onto the left leg, right arm coming up and over. And again, try and avoid sort of folding in and kind of collapsing in here. We want to have a nice wide shape, keeping this right hip open, keeping this right shoulder open. And then engaging through the core, coming back to center. Bring the knees back in. And we're going to reach both arms coming up to the ceiling. And then we're going to fold down into child's pose, hands coming towards the feet. And just taking a couple of breaths here, noticing the different sense of this child's pose to the wide-kneed one. Maybe one of them feels good, particularly good. And bringing yourself back up, you're going to take both feet to one side and coming into a seated position. Coming back into that staff pose that we were starting in, grounding through the sitting bones, lifting up through the crown of the head. Going to bring toes towards us, feeling that engagement, straight legs if possible, if not, no problem. And we're going to reach both arms up to the ceiling and then folding forward over both legs this time. And see what feels good here. If you need to take a little bit of a bend in the knee, then do that, that's no problem. Inhaling, lengthening through the spine, exhaling, maybe finding a little bit of fold. Take one more cycle of breath. And then bringing the hands up the legs, uncurling through the back. We're going to take the hands behind, maybe a hand width away from you. And you have a couple of options here. So we'll do the first one all together. So bending the knees in, not super tight. We're going to lift the hips up, coming up into a reverse tabletop position. So feeling that length from your shoulders to your knees, lifting up. You can take your gaze up to the ceiling. That feels good. If not, you can keep your gaze towards your knees. And then we're going to bring the hips back down to the floor. And if you want to have a little bit more challenge, you don't need to, because this is for relaxation. If you want to do something a bit different, you can stretch out the legs. We're going to go into a reverse plank. If you are cool with the reverse tabletop, then do that one again. You're going to inhale, lifting up. And if you're in the reverse plank, it's the same kind of motion, pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. If you're in the plank, pressing down through the feet. And taking one cycle of breath here. And then slowly lowering down. You're going to reach both arms up to the ceiling and folding forward again. Now, as always, if you want to take a little bend in the knees, take a little bend in the knees. And inhaling, lengthening through the spine, maybe exhaling, finding a bit more twist, a bit more stretch. Then bringing the hands up the legs, uncurling through the spine. We're going to bring ourselves down to a lying position, tucking the knees into the chest. We're going to send the arms out wide, creating that T shape. And we're going to take the legs over to the right hand side. So with control, keeping the left shoulder on the floor, legs coming over, maybe they rest on the ground. If they don't rest on the ground, you can grab your blanket, your pillow, and make this feel like a nice relaxing posture. And take the gaze down the left arm. And just breathing here, breathing into the twist. And then engaging through the core a little bit, just to bring the knees back up to center. And then we're going to take the knees over to the left hand side, keeping that right shoulder on the floor, keeping the upper body nice and still. And then we're going to take the gaze down the right arm. And breathing into any places that feel tight here. And just allowing yourself to relax, release. Bringing the gaze up to center, engaging through the core to bring the knees back in. And take the arms, wrapping them around the legs and just taking a nice rock from side to side. Feeling that lovely massage in your spine. And then we're going to bring the feet to the floor. And this is the time to get your pillow and your blanket. So hopefully you've got them close by. And just making yourself nice and comfortable here. So feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, palms facing up to the ceiling. Be snuggling your shoulders down your spine, making that space between your ears and your shoulders. And we're going to relax here. Feeling the movement of your breath coming in, the movement of your breath going out. Feeling that sensation that your body is breathing. Be bringing your attention to the different places you can feel that breathing. Feeling it initially in your nostrils as the air comes in. Maybe feeling it moving over the back of the throat, coming into your lungs, filling up your lungs, and coming down into your belly. And allowing that breathing to deepen, to slow down. Feeling that security, the earth holding you. Knowing that you can relax here, you're being held by your mat, by the earth beneath you. And just feeling that flow of air coming in and air going out. Maybe closing your eyes here, allowing your attention to come inward, to feel that sense of relaxation. And notice, are there any places in your body that you're still holding tension? And see if you can send your in-breath to those places. And allowing on the out-breath that tension to just melt away and release. And you may want to stay here for some more time, enjoying this relaxation, enjoying this Shavasana. And if that feels good, then you stay there as long as you want to. But for everybody else now, you're going to bring the palms in front of the chest. We're going to close our practice together. Namaste.
Thanks so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you enjoyed it, do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know how you found it in the comments below. See you again soon.